Hi, we're Group 21, and today we'll be talking about air quality and pollution. So, what is air pollution and how does it cause health conditions? Air pollution is defined as the pollutants in the air we breathe that are harmful to us and the planet. Some of the largest air pollutants include the burning of fossil fuels for vehicles, heat and power generators, and also factories or refineries and mines. Air pollution is then very harmful because it produces things like smog and other hazardous air pollutants that are made up of very tiny particles, which can penetrate the lungs and bloodstream and also irritate one's eyes and lungs. One health condition that can be worsened by increasing air pollution is asthma. Asthma is a condition that narrows the airways of the lungs that can cause symptoms like wheezing and shortness of breath. The small particles in air pollution pass through the nose or lungs and can trigger severe asthma attacks and increase the frequency of them. Too much exposure to air pollution can lead to decreasing lung function.
So I'm going to talk about the epidemiology of toxic air quality and asthma. So I'm going to be breaking down who it affects, the rates in different populations, and the risk factors associated with the problem. So who does it affect? Air quality affects everyone, but not equally. So more specifically, it affects people of color, elderly residents, children with uncontrolled asthma, and people living in poverty, as well as the working class. What are the rates in different populations? So I have three here. The first being population deaths in different parts of the world, second being asthma prevalence by gender and age, and third being asthma-related deaths in different age brackets. So the risk factors associated with the problem, first being asthma, which we've been talking a lot about. So toxic air definitely increases asthma attacks. And it also is related to physiological, biochemical, and cellular responses, as well as cardiovascular disease, which can increase both heart attack and stroke. Some other factors associated are dryness and irritation of the eyes, nose, throat, and skin, headache, fatigue, shortness of breath, hypersensitivity and allergies, sinus congestion, coughing and sneezing, and dizziness.
Clean Air Act is the primary federal law which governs air pollution in the U.S. and was created in 1963. It was designed to protect public health and welfare from different types of air pollution, regulates and limits carbon emissions in facilities, protects the ozone, established the NAAQS, which limits air pollution from pollutants like lead and sulfur dioxide, and requires annual tests which measure the amount of pollution emitted each year. So the screening process for asthma takes about 15 minutes, and you fill out a questionnaire about your age, lifestyle, and symptoms. Then you take a breathing test that measures how well your lungs function. Then you go over these results with your allergist. A few treatments for asthma include an inhaler, which helps open the airway of the lungs, steroids, which reduce airway inflammation, and oxygen therapy, which provides extra oxygen to the lungs of people who have breathing problems.
In regard to the way that the issues of asthma and air pollution have been addressed so far, we have seen some great successes, but also some shortcomings. One success is the 46% decrease in PM10, which are particulate matter of 10 micrometers and smaller in diameter, in the air on the national level from 1990 to 2019. And PM10 molecules are one of the major aggravators of asthma and can cause somebody to have an asthma attack. On the other hand, though, we have had some shortcomings. One shortcoming is the fact that the asthma rates in the United States have actually not decreased and in many cases have still increased. And another problem is the problem of inequity. According to a New Jersey study, neighborhoods that have a black zip code had the highest incidence of asthma, and according to a North Carolina study, asthma mortality rates were highest among African Americans, despite statewide asthma mortality reductions.
One website that provides more information is the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. This provides information on specific concerns that someone with asthma may have about the quality of air in their home and environment. Another website is the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. This website provides information on which pollutants are most toxic and what measures people can take in order to better protect themselves. So treatment is normally given through a primary care provider. Initial assessment is done through several tests, and then treatment is provided depending on the severity of one's asthma. And finally, some misconceptions about asthma is that it can be improved by limiting outdoor activities, moving to the countryside, and using natural and herbal foods, that it only needs to be treated when symptoms occur and that it is not chronic. Thus, community programs need to educate people on what asthma is and how air quality affects it in order to ensure that they receive proper treatment. Viewers are works cited. Thank you for listening to our presentation.